So I'm too sad to talk about Vikings today, so we're actually going to talk a little bit about Liverpool. Now, as some of the viewers may know, I adopted Liverpool as my football team. Soccer, football. They hate the term soccer, even though they invented it. But I adopted them as my Premier League team and been following them all season. And it's been a lot of fun just starting to learn the game, learning the players, learning all that stuff. And it's kind of cool where if you break it down, so each league, England, France, Spain, Italy, Germany, etc., it's like a conference in college football. And then they get together and then they have the Champions League. It's kind of fun. It's good times. Plus, I like that if you're bad, you get kicked out. It's great, man. But it's a pretty good weekend for Liverpool. They beat Southampton down 4-0. 4-0. Should have been 6 or 10, whatever. Also, Chelsea drew with Man United. Hey, Ollie's at the wheel. Not so much anymore. But Man United actually did something good for a change, so they're only 2 points back on the table. They already secured Champions League knockout spot, so life is pretty good right now. And then they got the Merseyside Derby against Everton Wednesday at Not So Goodison Park. Bring it on, Blues. Woo! Love it, man. Everton is currently 14th in the table, but also 6 points clear of the relegation spot, so they'll be fine. Plus, Rafa. It's Rafa time. Rafa Benitez, si senor, is Everton's manager. Revenge game for him because, of course, he was Liverpool's manager back in the day. 2005 Istanbul. It did not end well because of ownership and at the time, and he hasn't really rebounded and really gotten back that genius title again since he's bounced around all over Europe, but it's whatever. Now I do think that Jurgen Klopp has done a really good job of managing player rest because it is really tough when you have the Premier League and you have 17 different tournaments going on. It's tough, but they've had a lot of injuries, but they've let them heal fully as opposed to rushing guys back and then they get dinged up again. It's no good. But I really hope one time Bobby Firmino is back on the pitch because Diogo Jota, he's really good. And I think that he will be really good in a couple of years. I had 2 goals against Southampton, tried to make it 3 a couple of times, but he still makes a lot of mistakes. And he still holds on to the ball too long, doesn't make the extra pass. I don't think that he syncs up with Mo and Mane the way that Bobby Firmino does. Because when Bobby is in at the number 9, I think that Mo and Mane, I think they're the best front in the world. Legitimately, they're the best front 3. And Mo Salah, he's got to be champing at the bit to get back in the scores column. His 8 premier goals this season. Was shout out against Southampton. He was just trying so hard at the end. Like, he just wanted un golo, but he's going to be fine. And also, Sadio Mane, I love him. Like, I feel like he's one of the more underrated players in the world. He doesn't get the time of day. He gets overshadowed to a degree by Mo, who's the best player in the world, so it's pretty easy. But I love the way that he plays. Like, he is all over the pitch. Like, he is fiery. He gets after it. Maybe too emotional sometimes. It's fine. But he was one of the few players in that West Ham game, that debacle against the corpse of David Moyes, who did not give up. And there's a couple players that sort of just mailed that one in. But I love Manu. Like, Sadio reminds me of Russell Westbrook out of the Lakers. No, not Lakers Russell Westbrook. I'm talking about like OKC Russell Westbrook. Just getting it done, man. I love it. It's great having James Milner back. He's old AF, but he doesn't turn the ball over. He's a solid passer, really solid in the midfield. Plus him and Hendo, I think, are a good leadership duo. And also, keep him in midfield. Like, F off with that entire experiment of using him at right back, because him against Phil Foden against City in that tie game, which should have been a win, lost 2 points there. Like, F that straight to the moon. Yeah, screw that noise. But I'm glad that he's back. And also, they really miss Fabinho in midfield. I don't think that they blow that lead against Brighton if 3 was in midfield as opposed to young guys, but what can you do? Defensively, I think they do rely too much on Virgil and Alisson. I mean, it's easy to do, right? So you have the best defender in the world. You have the best center back in the world. You have the best goalie in the world. Sorry, goalkeeper in the world. It's like, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. And then we'll have Trent and Robbo play really high up on the pitch offensively and then, try and get them into their back spots. But I think to a degree, you can get too carried away with that. And I think defensively, they can be open at times. But what can you do? I mean, Virgil has been amazing this year. Is he Ballon d'Or Virgil? That level? Probably not. Coming back from that injury, but also, I mean, how can you attain that level? He's still, the best defender in the world, so what can you do? I think Trent had an off game against Southampton, but you know that the local kid is going to be up for the Merseyside Derby, so I'm not worried about him. Plus, It's great to have Robbo back at full fitness because Tsimikas is fine. Like, he's solid and he's getting better. I think that if Liverpool does move on from Robbo eventually, I think that he could be a very good replacement at left back. But Robbo's pace and his passing, they were sorely missed. And really glad to have him back in the lineup against Southampton. But Rafa, Everton, like, Rafa is that strategic genius, and maybe not so much as of late, but you know that he's going to have something special for his old club. But I just think that there's too big of a talent gap between Liverpool and Everton. So I was talking about this. So I'm just barely learning the game, but I was watching the game with my father-in-law, and he was asking about, oh, what's going on here, what's going on there, and or he was asking, like, why is Liverpool so good compared to some of the other teams? And I pointed at Ox. So Ox played at Southampton, grew up in the Southampton system, was at Arsenal, etc., where Ox was a star player at Southampton and Arsenal, but at Liverpool, he's a role player, and that's just the talent gap. Like, that's where they are up here. So I think that it's just going to be too much on Wednesday. I think Liverpool wins. I think they win big. I think they win 4-0, if not 5-0. I think you'll get 2 goals from Mo. I think you'll get 1 from Mane. I think Trent will get 1 off a free kick. Of course, cementing himself in the Merseyside lore yet again. Hell, we'll make it 5-0. Minamino gets in at the end and then gets a scruffy goal, because I don't care. Like, I'm always going to root for the Japanese guy. So there you go. Other than that, I have no thoughts. But what are your thoughts on our very terrible and not educated and probably pretty bad thoughts on Liverpool? Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings and Liverpool takes. If you want to support the work, Venmo, pay that man his money. But until next time, Skol, you'll never walk alone. Production value.